Hey guys. I'm disappointed they didn't pull my ticket out either. But anyway, that's awesome, Maddie. Good to see you. Mike from Cornwall, good day and goodbye. Craig's Workshop, good day, goodbye. Chirp, good day. Ted, he's the guy I pay in the background to say TMC 2020 every 5 minutes. Keep it up. Chirpy's got everything at final long last. He's got everything. That's awesome. Mark Osborne, good day. Tool and cutter grinder. Make a time travel video out of it. We'll accept that. Richard, g'day. Stephen Lang, hello. Man Cave, g'day. Kevin, g'day. Fridge Martin, g'day. Gosh, mixed crowd. Anyway. TMC 2020. It's happening. It's all happening. Cam at Battler. Everyone knows Cameron McGowan. First entry up. Go and check out his video. I didn't, and I will put a link to the playlist in the description of this video if you're watching it afterwards. I'm slack. Really not good. Jason Burns, g'day. Mixed crowd, yeah, bikers and all sorts. Anyway, what's happening? If you're looking for ideas, email me. But look, seriously, there's 1,000 things that you need to build. You must have a list that's a million things long. Don't put too much time in it. Just make something, stick the hashtag on the video, and upload the video and send me the link. Easy as that. Nothing to it. Hey, Dennis. I'm sure you're all working on your videos for the tool making competition already. That's the way it is. I understand that. It's too big. Yeah, righto. That's fair enough. Keep it a little bit sensible. Focus a bit on telling the story in the video rather than the tool. Even that's a terrible thing to say, but it's kind of what everyone wants to see. Matt is still in the planning stage. He's made 5 tools in the meantime, but he's still in the planning stage. Was it? G'day. Ted, you can squash it. Keep going. Man Cave. That's we're going to have a minute silence in a minute for that. We'll talk about that. Rich is still planning what lathe to buy. Ted can do it. It's easy. Look at that. Cam at Battler did a 16-minute video or something like that. You can do it if he can. Nothing to it. Squash it down. But think about it, because there's some cool prizes to be won. You saw them. Some really cool stuff. I've had other offers as well for stuff. Anyone who contacts me and says, what can I do to make this tool making competition better? What can you do? the best thing you can do, if you've got a YouTube channel or you've got some social media presence or you're someone of some merit, the best thing you can do is enter and share the video. That's where we're at. So if you can do that, you've done more for the competition than any monetary donation or postage donation or prize donation ever could be. So there you go. That's what I reckon. Nigel, g'day. Good to see you. Let's fix Richard's problem. How much money you got, Richard? We can spend it. There's a very nice Myford 7 locally here that's been fully hand scraped and reconditioned. Back past tool room spec. It's magic. It's got new bearings, new electric gear. If you're local and you're interested, let me know, because it's a lathe I'd buy if I had space. There you go. I'll give the guy a shout out there because it's a pretty good deal, I reckon. It's a bit expensive for a Myford, but it's jolly nice. It's the nicest one I've ever touched, really. And that's well within budget, Richard. Russ Knox, good day. I can't fit another machine one. I'd have to get rid of one, and as it is, I've got to get rid of one anyway if I want to buy a D-bit grinder, which is the next purchase. So I could go, they're on sale at the moment, and I could go and buy one, but I haven't got anywhere to put it. That's a problem. Bit of an issue. Jason Burns, how much is it? It's a bit. Yeah, I think he wants about $3,000 for it, but it's pretty nice. Seriously, if you're interested, just drop me a line and I'll get you the details. He probably would, Fridge. This is probably not a problem. He's in the business of reconditioning them. I think he's done a couple of them, and this one's really nice. It's not just a paint job. It's a really nice job. It's fully hand scraped. It's got new bushes everywhere. And it's only an ML7, but it's really sweet, actually. It's silky smooth. There's no rock in anything. He's got basically measurement charts and all that stuff to back it up, and run out charts and all that, and it's nearly too good to use, actually. Nice lathe. I'm just scrolling through the comments. Just make one, Emma. That's all right. Yeah. Chirpy, you made one, or you sort of started making one. I'd love to see the end result of that. It made good tool making competition video. There's more than one reason why so many people use Myfords, John. One is that bits are available everywhere. They're a bit small. They're smaller than my Lorch, which doesn't mean a lot until you actually handle one, and then they're tiny. And they're fixable if anything goes wrong, which it does, because they're only flatbed lathe, but it's sort of strange. Anyway, Tom, good to see you. John Creasy, good to see you. Cam at Batlow, Stuart Hinkson, good to see you. Video from Cam for the tool making competition is up this week. Thanks, Cam. Good video. No broken rules, and you're in. Let's see who else can beat it. It's not raining here at the moment. It's stopped, but it's been raining all day. Anyway, so that's what's happening. You can do it, Cam. See, Ted, Cam can do it. You can do it. Ted's complaining because his video is 35 minutes. He doesn't know where to cut it down. Just chop it out. Be ruthless. Anything that's got machining or talking in it, just chop it out and see what you got left, and you'll have a good video. There's my advice. Watch it 400 times and you'll know. That's exactly right. Watch it more than once. Go through and watch it again, and if you switch off halfway through, it's too long. Hey, Mats. Yeah, that works. It doesn't work, actually. No one's ever got the prize of doing that, but it's been done a couple of times. Thanks, Jeffy. It works, but not, yeah. Put a video up about this headstock. I guess everyone saw that. It's actually a pretty popular video, which is strange. "35 minutes is a pretty long intro, Ted. Anyway. It's a good little exercise for you. There's a reason I made that rule. It's you new guys can learn a lot from that. This is actually pretty good. Rasenok said he doesn't trust these products. That makes two of us, right? I don't really trust them either. But with undercoat on this, you can't really tell what's casting and what's not. It feels the same. It's cold. It's got a nice edge to it. It fits in. It's the same texture. Fairly pleased with that, actually. Fairly pleased with it. It's going to need a bit more of a sand back and probably another coat of undercoat before I paint it. But a little bit impressed. There you go. That's ready to go back together nearly, except I think I'm going to drill this bush. Probably metric on this one. Originally it was Lowenhauser. Or Lovenhulser, as the Germans say. I think it's Lovenhulser. It would have been 6mm Lovenhulser thread, which is an odd pitch. It's 6mm by something. It's strange thread. That's what my other one is. The thread is some crazy pre-war German thread. Not going to do that. It'll be metric, and then the pulley. If I don't make some sort of an effort to pronounce the German correctly, Stefan will get on to me. Dale, good to see you. Yeah, I hope sunny California is sunny down by the seaside. Sifting sand and all that stuff. This is the original bearings in this. I haven't touched them. They're a bit scuffed up, and I'm thinking about whether I give them a hone or what. I'm not sure. I really don't want to mess around with them. But there we go. This is all original, but I believe that this same pulley just had a piece sitting over the top that pressed on to the center, and that's what was the dividing plate. So it's probably a very simple job to make a new dividing plate for this to operate, and it's probably worth doing because it is something I use on the other one a lot, and I'm not sure what sort of function this lathe is going to have or how often I'm going to use it. All these bearings need a good wash up and a clean up, but these are just steel on steel that run in here, and they need a couple of little oiler droppers here. Bit of work in it, but I might get this headstock back together now I've got the worst part done, and we might probably think about what sort of collets we're going to put in it too. So been working on that. We've got an aid. Which aid is this? Aid's Workshop. G'day. Enjoying your videos. Not seeing a lot of lathe work, but it's been fun. It's been great in California. I bet it is. It's a bit wet and cold here. Joseph Durden, good to see you. Dale's in lockdown. Yeah, he gets out again. That's the problem. Yeah, there is some lathe work. I did see it. Thanks. But some good videos, eh? I got sidetracked this weekend, which I really wasn't intending to do. And all this big box of castings and bits sitting here on the bench. And I thought, well, I'll get in and start these. So I screwed these dummy springs on here, which are really just cosmetic, I guess. They got to look nice and they got to look straight. They've got a hole in here for a coil spring, which is what springs this main tender, because leaf springs are, yeah, they've got to take a bit of a hard life on the track. So coil springs are an easier option. Matt is asking all the difficult questions. That's great. Keep it up. You and Ted. Absolutely. I expect a TMC 2020 comment. Just as a reminder, every 10 or 20 comments in chat, please. At least. Great video from Robin today. I haven't seen it yet. It's probably very long, and I might watch it after this. We'll see how we go. But they're all great videos from Robin. So these springs are on here. There's a left and a right, and I got them on the right side of the frames, which is really awesome. They've got a crap load of countersink 4BA screws that I had to shorten in the back of them. There's 4 in each one. And they're all sort of looking good. And the next job is to, yeah, don't look too close, John. This one was bent quite considerably, this casting. They're only fairly soft, and I straightened them out, sort of. This one's still got a bit of a bend here, but they're in the right spot. They had a twist in it, and I had trouble with that. And then Yeah, one of them is a little bit deep, but no one will notice that's on the inside. Something I would do if I was doing this again is do all these in metric rather than BA with hex head countersunk screws, because I think the amount of times you've got to pull them in and out, that's a much easier thing, and no one ever sees them. So I'm sort of sad I didn't do that now. But next job is to split these in half and machine them all over and split them this way. And there's 4 horn cheeks or horn blocks here, which rivet on here. One on here and one on here with 4 rivets in each side. Or three or 4 rivets each side, which is going to be a fun job in between those webs. And get all them riveted on. And the horn stays, which are the little plates across the bottom to stop everything falling out. And these bits are pretty much finished, except for to the next thing. But yes, there's always the Imperial, is just what you can get. That's the only reason you would use metric, is there's a lot of it about. So metric's pretty good. Buy from MA. Oh, excellent. No, that's cool. No worries at all. Imperial is for all. Well, yeah, the trouble is that it's a lot of work to convert my camera to black and white. And nowadays, colour photography is sort of a modern thing, so we might as well go metric as well, to be honest. Anyway, this is all Imperial. And I'm going to stick with Imperial with most of it. A lot of this is BA, which are really good threads for this because they're fairly sharp pitch angle, so they grip pretty well. In sheet metal and in castings, they're fantastic for this. They're probably the ultimate thread form because they're 47 degrees or whatever it is. So it's good to use them. I've got heaps of taps and heaps of screws, etc, etc, etc. It's just that slot head screws are a pain. Probably got a box, Brownie. Ted, Dale, you sell out. White Christian right ring male. And he said he's using metric. Anyway, you knew that had come back to haunt you, Dale. Anyway, the problem with this build is that there's 1,000 little small diameter Imperial holes that I haven't got any way of measuring. Stephen's fighting metric. Maybe if Dale moves over, everyone else will too. If you really want to see some hate, go and check out the comments in Dale's first metric video. Dale's a black and white film person. My Nikon F3 needs to dust off or I'd get it out and show you, but probably I should shoot some film. There's boxes of it here. I probably should shoot a bit of film at some point. I keep promising myself I will, but it doesn't happen. This is a purchase I made. It's my birthday next week, the week after. And I thought I needed these because there's 1,000 little holes on this locomotive that are Imperial, and I haven't really got a way to measure them. So these are 61 thou to 250 thou. Gauge pins. So, and speaking of birthdays, it was Matt's birthday this week too. So he's another Gemini. So yeah, I did leave a comment on his video about it, but I don't think anyone else did. So he mustn't have mentioned it anywhere. Next box will be 250 to 500. They're a bit more expensive, but for measuring small holes, I think this is the way to go. So these were cheap. They're Chinese and they're not too shabby, really. It's got a decent box, like it's got actual real screws in the box lid. I reckon it's some sort of reinforced fiberglass plastic rather than just junk ABS. It's not soft. I think it's a decent box. The printing's all nice. It's got a decent board in it to hold everything in. I was expecting a foam box with all these bits in a paper bag and I'd have to measure them and put them all out in the right order. But everything's organised and nicely sorted out. It's got a bit of wax paper in the grease paper in the top. So there we go. They're made in China, but they're not shabby, and they were from an Australian supplier, and they're only like $82 Australian, which is pretty cheap for them. So sorted. I'm pretty pleased with them, actually. I'm nearly too ashamed to show this because it's been hanging over my bedroom door, and it's got dusty, which is terrible. I'm going to need a paintbrush with this, and it's a project perhaps for tomorrow. Give this a clean up, and there doesn't even seem to be a lens cap for it, which is terrible on this lens because it's a beautiful lens. We better give it a clean up. I'm not sure I'm even going to show you, but there's my baby Dale. That's terrible. Look at that. Crazy expensive professional camera, and it's dirty. I'm not even going to cock the shutter because it's going to need a clean up before I go anywhere. It's not a nice thing to do to a camera, but it's been at least 4 or 5 years since I've actually used it. That's terrible. This is an F3, an MD4 motor drive. It's, I guess, oh my gosh, when did the F3 come out? Late 80s. This was a magic lens. I'm going to have to get in and clean this up and give it a good spit and polish. Show you again next week when it's cleaned up. I might even put a film in it. But it's all there. It's got all the accessories. It's a high viewpoint one. And it's terribly dusty. And I'm sorry about that. It's even got all the caps in it still. Look at that. It's got all the caps in it. Well, except for that one. This one's still bringing pretty good money, which is why I hung on to it. But I got rid of my Leica, which I shot with for many years, and I loved it. But this one's When did these come out? 93 maybe? I can't remember. But it's the only Nikon made that's interchangeable with all Nikon lenses. So pretty awesome camera, really. I'm going to leave that out and give it a clean. 1982 is probably right. I can't remember. Everything went digital. That's the trouble. And everything's digital now. I'd have a box of film. That's no problems at all. And run some film through it. I've got a Jobo Mini Lab sitting in the corner that I don't use anymore. So processing film's not an issue. I've got a decent scanner sitting in the corner, which I also don't use anymore. So scanning negatives isn't an issue. It's just a matter of getting out and taking pictures. That's where we're at with that. There's no, life gets short. Gosh, we were young back then, Dale. It's a long time ago. Dale says 1982, 1983, and I think that's probably right, to be honest, with the F3. I'm going to have to give that a clean up. That's terrible. I've got no idea where the lens cap is for that lens. It's even worse. But anyway, we'll fix it. There'll be no fungus in it, I don't think. Yeah, but where do you find a camera store nowadays? Rich was born in 1982. Really? Golly gosh. What else is news? What else is happening? There's a tool making competition running. Cameron's got a video out. I think I might have already said that. Expecting videos from all you guys in metric or English, with or without hair. So that's good. And metric or black and white is what I should say. So leads off that Loctite bottle that I've got to replace because it's getting sticky and it's probably not much good for anything. I might have to buy another bottle of Loctite if I can get a small one rather than a big one, because the big one's a bit of a pain in the... I had something else I was going to share. What was it? Anyone remember? Not really. Not really. I thought I had another project that I was working on. Oh, I've got the oil pump in. That's the other thing I've done this weekend. Kevin, shh. Yeah, the Loctite bottle I've had for a while. Boiler. Strange that you should mention boiler. Yeah. I think I might have the answer on the burners, Chirpy. As soon as the jolly post office system gets sorted out, I might post that. But at the moment, the I'm expecting a parcel from Clark, which is the head and the piston for the Stuart 400 engine. That was ready to leave Florida on the 27th, I think, of last month. And that's the last time it got scanned. So I'm not sure where it is. It's either on the water somewhere, or it's still in Florida in a box, or it's been sent back, or it's sitting here in Sydney waiting for someone to go through it and anti-coronavirus it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I did plumb this up. Let's shift this. I'm trying to get through this build without actually bending or making these bent in any way, shape or form. So check valve, pipe, oil in there. I can find out, Aaron. I'll get back to you on that. Take care, Russ Knox. Good to see you. You're probably right, Chirpy. £10. What's that in actual colour to units? £10 is like to 5 kilos, something like that. A large flat rate box, it depends how big it is, but a large flat rate box is about $100 to $140 Australian, which is $70 to $100 US. There we go. And it seems to be going up because the last one I got was a bit more than that. So that's about where we're at, about 100, 120 bucks. What are you posting me, Joseph? If it's any good, I'll even pay postage. There you go. Someone's got to do it. 4.563 kilo. That's about right. Postage are getting crazy expensive. All these bits for this come from the UK, DHL, and it was cheaper, I reckon, than Royal Mail. It was about 80 bucks Australian, which is $50 US, something like that. And it was here in 10 days with a worldwide tour. If you have a look at the tracking info. I'm here, I think. Crap. So this pipe's on, this is all plumbed up. I've got this eccentric strap to go on next. So I spent some time on this weekend. Next weekend, I hope, if John Creasy's parcel gets here with some phenolic in it to make some ignition parts for the Stuart 400, I hope to do something to that. Yeah, you're right. It's quicker than sending stuff to Perth and probably cheaper, to be honest. So DHL's good, but I don't know. You've got to really have an account with them and stuff, I think. Don't know if anyone knows how that works, but if I'm getting castings out of America, that's how I'll do it. Now, we've got a very sad thing happened here. We probably should leave this camera on a bit of a funny angle because it looks better. That'll do. YouTube have I don't know if it's YouTube or I don't know if it's me, but this stopped counting last week. And talking to a few people who've made the same project, theirs have stopped counting at some point in the last 2 months. Some of them are months ago. Mine's just stopped counting this week. I think it's probably because I authorized the two-step authentication for Google sign-in, and I think this can't handle that sort of. It doesn't have the information to make that work. So I've disabled that and it still doesn't work, and I'm going to have a bit of a probe in it and see if we can get it going, because I kind of miss it. But at the moment we're sort of, it's not looking good for the subscription counter, which I'm a bit sad about, but there we go. So no subscription counter for the next couple of weeks. It might happen. I'm at 6.17k, something like that, nearly 6.18, I think. Not that we're counting, but if you'll make awesome tool making competition 2020 videos and tag them, maybe we'll all get a few more. Just saying. That's probably a good way to help out with that. There we go. Now, quite some time ago, I ordered another set of castings. Does anyone really want to? Yeah, one day, maybe another 100 years. Does anyone want to look at another project? No, we probably shouldn't. I don't think you want to know about it. I sort of feel bad even thinking about it, and it's probably going to be a surprise, because I think it's one of the contenders for the next Patreon series builds when this petrol engine's gas engine's finally running, which hopefully won't be too long once all the bits get here. Do you really want to know? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Right? They'll be happy on the bench, right? It'll be more than happy on the bench for a bit. I've lost count, Warren. Okay, there's a set of drawings and a box of bits. Not an expensive project, very time intensive project, and I'm going to have to make a fairly serious inroad into this, and I'm going to have to get the Stuart 400 finished, and I've got to get another locomotive and 2 boilers finished before I even think about looking at this, right? That's how it's got to be. Right, drawings. Don't know which one's which. Drawing 4, drawing 3, drawing 2. Oh, we got drawing 1. Losing patience. Okay. This is a set of drawings for BAT. More about this later. But the things you need to know about BAT. is this bit, right? Which is 32 millimeter gauge. BAT's not real big, right? 2 1/8 inch wheelbase, or 2 13/16 between the drivers. Tender is 2.5 inches wide, 2.5 inches over the cab. Not a big machine. There's 5 drawings there in A2, so that's about half the details to build this loco. Very, very, very fiddly. What we got? This is nearly watchmaking, this one. Driving wheels. Jolly nice castings. Like, really nice castings. Really nice. 1 3/4 diameter. Hey JB. Tender wheels. Take care. Thanks, Glenn. I reckon they're shell cast, Raymond. I would imagine that's the only way you can do that with these. With iron, I don't know if you can vacuum cast iron, but I would say that they're shell cast, like with a hard shell. I reckon that's how they're made, because these are pretty good. These are the bogey wheels. So it's ridiculously small. To give you some idea, beside the 3.5 inch gauge one, they're not very big. These are nice castings. They're much nicer than anything that come from Reeves. If we compare the Reeves castings there, they need a bit of a clean up. And the Kenyon's castings, which are amazing, they're a different process. So I would say that these are shell cast, like they're cast with a, I reckon probably they're cast in like a hard core block. Like they make up a core with sand and whatever hardening or setting compound, and then pour them in that. I reckon that's how they're made, but basically sand cast, but with a bit more definition. Now, hey Mike, I would say that that's what it is, Chirpy. Princess Marina and Bat. Give you some sort of an idea. Our O gauge is a thing that's pretty close to my heart, and these are, look, you probably will see a video series about these, but it's long term. Like seriously, it's long term. Anyway, I'm not going to start now. I'm not going to even look at it for a little bit, to be honest. I really want to get this petrol engine running. That's what's important. Get it finished. That's what I really need to focus on. So these are going to sit in the cupboard with a dozen other projects. And when the time comes and we decide that we need a new project, well, we'll get it out and we'll work out which one it is, because there's probably 4 projects that in this sort of condition and this sort of state that are in boxes here that I could start. Anyway, this is Bat. And Bat was named Bat because 2 locomotives were serialized side by side in 1945 in Model Engineer in England. And they were both designed, or they were both built with the inside modeler in mind. And they were both nighttime animals because of the blackout and the blitz and all that sort of stuff. They were designed to be run on the kitchen table, basically. So these will go around Hornby tin plate track curves, which I really like, because at some point before this starts, I'm going to have a tin plate track. So Craig called in late early and said that he was going to miss, so I don't know where he went. Obviously he had a date or something. I don't know. Maybe it's date night. Anyway, that's Bat, and that little piece, that box of castings there, or that assembly of castings, are the castings for the complete locomotive. So it's not very big. We've got steam chests, we've got eccentrics and front covers. It's got inside Stephenson link valve gear, which gives me the heebie-jeebies because the thing's only 13/16 or something between the frames. Ted, no. Yes, probably. Hey, Mike, I'm great, really. I really am. What bore? 3/8 of an inch. There you go, Joseph. I do know that from the castings, from the drawings. The drawings are quite involved. There is a actual coal-fired variation of the boiler. I don't expect that's going to happen. Just so you know. There's a spirit-fired version too. And I've seen one built recently that was gas-fired, and that might be a more sensible option. But it's not a big engine at all. Take care, Dennis. Good to see you. Be safe and don't work too hard. We've got a casting left over. There we go. So I'm not getting into this at all yet. There's a set of laser cut frames, which are really nice. And there's a complete set of castings there for an O-gauge locomotive. Give you some idea, it's all packaged in a mailing tube like that. And I've had the drawings for probably 2 years. So it's not a spur of the moment thing, but it's going to be a video series at some point. Don't expect a lot of how-to videos on this. I've done a video on the oiler. Now it's all up and working and I've got it sorted. It's still being edited. It should be up before the weekend. I haven't done any filming on this. I've just gone ahead and done those. Don't expect a lot of videos about this as we go. Probably a progress video or two, that's all. But life's too short to film this because there's a lot of work in it. But we will get onto the 400 as soon as bits come. And postage is what's holding us up. YouTube probably killed it. I probably killed it. I'm not sure. The designer... thanks for that, Mike. I sort of feel like I'm prattling along, dribbling, and nobody really watches video series, but I really appreciate that feedback. But you're not going to get a video series on this because it's going to be a day a weekend, if that, on this. I'm going to spend a day on it, and that's my limit for every weekend, I've decided. And that was my day. That was my day this weekend, was getting those on. Maybe I can get these machined up or something in a day next weekend. But I really need to get that 400 going, and that's the thing that I want to do. And there's a couple of other little projects. I've got another O-gauge locomotive to finish first. So there you go. But yes, take care, Dale. Be good. Good night. Yeah, you should be in bed, but it's good to see you. This is a nice project to do without the camera running because I can have a podcast going in the background or a video or music or whatever. I don't have to worry about copyright or editing stuff out. If I'm filming, it's quiet here, and I don't mind that sometimes too. But this is one of those things that I'm just going to spend some time on every weekend and see if we can get this tender finished and get some bits and pieces on this and get it to the stage where it probably needs a boiler, and then you might get some videos about boiler making. I think you've got to do that, Tommy. I really do. Fridge, what's the other O-gauge locomotive? The other O-gauge loco was started on a whim, and I was going to build two of them, but two of anything is a bridge too far usually. The other O-gauge locomotive is Myrtle from 1956. It was a Christmas special from LBSC in Model Engineer. I started in with Myrtle, and it's a pretty little engine. Hang on, we'll put these away. Hope this isn't boring, everyone. I guess you'll all leave if it gets boring. You're not just hanging around to be sociable. This is Myrtle. Myrtle spirit fired. It's got an oscillating cylinder at the back with a worm drive. I've got all the bits for it. The frames are up and running, outside frame. The wheels are cast lead with steel tyres or iron tyres. Smoke boxes in place. I need to rebuild this boiler or make another one because there's a few design changes on this that I need to work on. Like this chimney should stick up, and that's not in the drawing. There's only 2 pages of instructions for this and one sort of small sketch. So the engine's tiny and there's not much information about that, but having finished this pump and got it working, I can probably build an oscillating engine that's going to work for this. The pipe work's too big at 532 and it really needs 332 pipe all through it, so I'm going to have to at some point either drill that out and fit others or make a new boiler, I think, because the pipe's too small, too big to bend and too big to plumb into the engine. So there's a little bit of work in this and a little bit of redesign on the original, which was very, very basic Christmas special journalism. Go Create, that's awesome. Take care. I'll drop you an email, Aaron, when I think of what that was about. Message me and tell me at some point, because yeah, I think there was something I was going to contact you about. Don't know. Anyway, take care. So this is a pretty cute engine. It's a veteran 1880s style tank engine, 240. And to be honest, there's probably not a whole lot of work to finish them. But the other thing is I don't have a track up and running either. So I don't really have space for track, this is designed to run on Hornby tin plate. And there's a bit of work in it. So as far as steam locomotives, that's where we're at with that. And there's 3 on the go. I started 2 of those. Actually, this is probably the one that's going to get finished, because I think this is probably a nicer engine. And pretty much gave up with finishing 2 of them, and it probably won't happen. But I'd like to get in and get one finished as a nice tank engine, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see how we go. But I need to get a track up and running too. Thanks, Fridge. We will. I've got a small art project on the go and waiting on some paint actually to do a small art project for Fridge for a locomotive he's just finished building. So that's something I haven't sort of forgotten about. But you can make fittings for this, and all the fittings are made. Right, there's a safety valve there, which is huge. Proper pop safety valve. And the engine and reverser and everything's a fairly fiddly little bit of gear, but we can do it. And most of the hold up on these has been the same as the hold up on most of my projects I start. Waiting for the right equipment to finish them. That's where we're at with it. Usually you've got to buy gear to get them finished. And with these, a decent milling machine was important. And we've got that up and running and to the point that we can do good work with that. So there's probably no reason to hold them off. I think this is set at about, I set these and tested them and set them at about 40 PSI for Edge, Ted. So yeah, there's a lot of bits in these. There's a lot of bits in this. There's nearly as many bits in this oil pump under this lid, Maddie, than there is in these locomotives all up. So that's crazy when you think about it. Anyway, I've got my little Miss Bossy mug here, just to remind you to make videos for the tool making competition. So put my Bossy hat on. There's nothing else. I'm sort of run out of purchases for the next few weeks, so you don't expect a whole lot of new purchases or unboxing videos or anything unless my parcel comes from America, because I'm not buying tools now for a little while. I'm just going to get in and finish some projects. Fridge, you shop at Aldi. That's awesome. Ted, yeah, both these locos are the same track width, and the one in the kit is the same as well. So it's inch and a quarter, 32mm. Come on, there's a reason we put the 20-minute rule in. You all know that. There's a reason, because all you guys could end up being 20 minutes shorter. And the exercise just to do it once will be good for you. If I can say that. I'm shocker for it, but 20 minutes, yeah. DMC 2020. Rules are there to be broken for sure, but prizes are there for people who don't. Just so you know. That's exactly right. I can make you some motivation. What are you into, Stuart? You just get in and make something. Should I be entering? Do you think I should enter? What do you think? What's everyone think? I probably shouldn't. The trouble is, if I enter, then Stephen Lang's got to enter too, and you may get some. I think he thinks he's a judge, so he doesn't have to enter. So sample video. Seriously, Matty, you're making yourself into a pretty good little tool maker. I don't think anyone here can dispute that. You make some pretty cool stuff and nice finish, nice work. Maddie's got a chance for sure. For fun, I might make something. I've got a couple of projects, so you might get something from me. There's always stuff to make. There's always tools we need. So I might make a video. We'll see if I run out of things to make videos about. Now, I believe from what I've seen that Aaron at Always Sunny in the Shop has started his video. Alastair at Adventures of a Very, Very Small Lathe, he started his video for the tool making competition. They're the two that I've heard about. If I had my way, the judges would be entering as well. But there you go. I'll have to have a think about that. And making a very simple, basic video with some constraints on it for a very basic tool is kind of liberating, because you can put some cool stuff into the editing that you normally wouldn't bother with. And that's part of the fun, to be honest. Stuart absolutely will count. Please make a video. And Nigel, that sounds awesome. We like your videos. If you're talking to Quinn, get her to do it as well. I'll stir her up as well at some point. So anyway, what are we? We're jolly hour and 10 here. That's probably long enough on a work night. Is everyone back at work, or is everyone is anyone still off, or is everyone back to normal? What's happening there with lockdown and stuff? Is it still affecting people? Here in Australia, probably not so much. I'm back at work full time, and we're crazy busy at work. So I've got an Amiga Constellation Automatic with the issue tomorrow. I had a Longines ladies watch that I put a new mechanism in today. I've got a Auto Seiko that needs a service at some point during the week. And I've got a pocket watch that needs a glass with a few little modifications. I've got, yeah, work's crazy. Matty's more than full-time. He's busier than he's ever been. Cam just got busier. Yeah, Fridge is kind of down until something happens there. Stephen Lang thinks he's retired, but I kind of... he's probably busier than he's ever been in his life. It sounds like he's got plenty happening. That's fair enough, Matt. I'm not retired, but I only work 4 days a week. So I've got 3-day weekend, and I try and make enough bonus on the 4 days that I'm at work to pay for the other day. And you guys help out a fair bit too, which is really nice. That gives me an extra day in the workshop, which I don't feel like I'm doing a lot with. Matty's filling our life up with good videos though, so keep that up, because there's a fair bit of purpose in that, and it's a good thing to be doing. Oh, and Warren's got a new job. That's awesome. Make a grinder hand out of him yet. So life's pretty busy for me, and I'm trying to get some things done that I can make videos out. It's been 2 weeks since I've really released a video that's not live stream, and I apologize for that. I feel a bit crap about that, but you're going to get what you're going to get, because I've got a couple there that are being edited and they just haven't happened yet. Ted's right. He's got chocolate and coffee. You won't sleep for sure. The spinny turny cutting machine is good. Is good luck. I hope you find something decent, Richard. There is a Myford for sale here that the boys have just finished rebuilding. It's hand scraped to within an inch of its life, and it's pretty much beautiful. It's silky smooth back to front and all oily and nice, and it's got new bushes all through it, and it's got new electrics on it, and it's on its original cabinet, and it's got a few accessories. I think it's got change wheels, and they're all in the greaseproof paper still. I don't mind giving those boys a bit of a shout out, because they've put some hard yards into it, and they'll start another one the minute it's sold. So if anyone wants to know about that, get in touch with me. It's ML7, a grey one, and it's not too shabby at all, to be honest. Tool making projects. We've sort of done the Stefan Gottswinter indicator holder to bits, but there was also an indicator stand that he shared drawings for. If you want a bit of a challenge, that's it. That makes the other one look a little bit simple in comparison. That was a pretty good project. Take care, Mike. Yeah, Stefan's indicator stand looks good. It looks like a bridge too far for me. It's a bit of a challenging job, but it is probably worth the trouble. And you know what his drawings are like. It's going to be fussy and all tolerant stuff, and you probably don't need to really follow that, but that's what happens. What else is a fairly cool project you could build? It doesn't have to be anything crazy big, but everyone needs tool holders for their tool posts. A quick change tool post on yours would be a great sort of a thing for Chirpy if you've got nothing to do. You didn't say you had nothing to do. You said you'd run out of ideas, and that's fair enough. Take care, Cam. Good to see you. Low profile hold down camps. They're sort of a bit topical at the moment. Stephen's making those. Who else did I see make a set? Rustanox I saw make a set. Someone else I saw too made a set as well. I've got a set, and this is a really... Oh, Quinn made a set as well. These are mine. Make a time machine, Chirpy. No one's got one of them. And then make a good video. And we're not going to know if it works or not. It's on video. These are made. They're to an English design. They're not ideal, right? Socket head cap screws on the mill are a real pain in the neck. Slot head Philister head screws probably aren't much better. They're all right, but you've got to vacuum them out every time you want to use them. And they're just on a taper there, and they've got a screw through on a taper to match this one. And they've got another screw to hold them down. They're bronze, and they were some sort of hard steel. I think they're probably... I can't remember what I made them out of, but they were pretty good stuff. And FP1, I think, bronze. So they're kind of good, and I use them all the time. As you can see, they get a fair bit of use. So there you go. Rear tool post is good if you haven't got a lathe that can part off properly. If you've got one of those rotten old flatbed Myfords, you're always going to have that problem. So that's the answer for that. That's a terrible thing to say, and I'm sorry, guys. Couldn't resist. What else? Let's go through the sticker list and see what people have made for the tool making competition. JB made a pretty awesome 3D printer last year. Andy Ash made a lathe tool height gauge that was superbly over-engineered and really good. And if we had another prize, he would have got it. Who else is on here that actually entered? Old Iron Lover made a brake press. That's a pretty good video if you want to go back and check that out. Shark River Machine entered one year. I'm not sure what he made. Got to think about that. Adventures with a Very Small Lathe entered, and he made a screwdriver sharpener, which was actually a winner. A quick change toolbox, a tool post. That's right, Stephen. I remember that. Max Grant entered last year and made it was actually a winner. He made a attachment for his milling machine for tramming it. I don't know, you're a boring lot. Anyway, I'm going to call this, I think, because we're an hour and 20 minutes and that's getting along. Tap handle is a really good project. If you have a look at the rules, down the bottom, there's a whole list of things you can make, but you've got to make something for you. And I won't be dismally offended if you don't enter, but it's a pretty good opportunity to pick up some scubs for your channel, to be honest, and it's a pretty good opportunity to make a bit more notoriety in the community for yourself, and to connect with other people too. So I think it's probably a really good thing. And Maddie's just getting started, so that's awesome. Don't slow down yet, because you're making some good stuff. John Mills had a little taper parallel jack that he shared drawings with recently, and Matty's built one of them. That's quite a nice looking little tool. Don't make a subscribers counter because they don't work. I'm going to call this. It's getting a bit long-winded. Take care, guys. Thanks, everyone, for checking in. All new subscribers, if there's anyone watching, I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on this video. Leave a comment. Check out I actually started a playlist for the tool making competition. Get your video in it, and I'll share the crap out of it. I always do. I try and do that as much as I possibly can, and get people actually watching the videos once there's one or two in there. Take care, Joseph. And yes, you can make longer detailed videos if you want, but overview of the project, the video that's worth watching is the one that needs to be under 20 minutes. Take care, Maddie. Keep up the good work. See you, Ted. See you, Brian. I'm looking forward to your video. Take care, Chirpy. I'm looking forward to your video, whatever it is. It's good stuff. Can't wait to see you pour some iron. Kevin, more updates on the petrol engine. I'll beat you at this rate. Richard, take care of yourself. Go buy yourself a lathe. Tommy, you're the defending champion. We expect a good video from you. And take care, Stephen. I'm out, and appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll see you next week.